Alright, it's your boy Taco Phil here. Just got in from a long run. Had like snow, highway closures, the whole deal. So today, I don't know if it's just today because I just got back in after 4 days. They had just gotten up to changing the way that our rest goes. So, one of the biggest problems with working on an extra board is you really feel like you got no time off. No time to plan, no time for anything. You're on call, you work when they need you to work, you often just get the minimum 9 hours and then you're back on the road. So a lot of people have a hard time with that. Well, although a lot of people don't realize is the system really is built not only to make it work, make you good money, but also that you can take advantage of it. So, by default, when I first started, they had basically a 7-day earned day deal. So if you work for 7 consecutive days without booking off, you earn 1 day off. And what happens is those days you can accumulate, and you basically after those 7 days, at any time, you contact your driver manager and you tell them, hey, I got 7 days, because I did 7 days, I got an accumulated day, I want to take this particular day off. And you take that day off. You don't have to really argue with anybody. They schedule it with you, you know. Obviously, they want to try and do it to where it's conducive for both of you, for you and the company. But even people weren't happy with that because, you know, after working 7 days, you know, it can be hard to schedule a day off, or God knows where you're going to be at in those 7 days, especially if you're trying to schedule some specific day off. You know, maybe you have a dental appointment, whatever. You know, you have a family emergency, whatever. And it cuts into your 7 days. If you don't get those 7 days consecutive work, you don't get that earned day. So one of the things that they just now instituted is the earned day off. So basically what they did is they decided that it made sense to allow people who are on the extra board to have scheduled days off well in advance. So now it's called the bid day off. So basically, you're working like a 7-in-1 schedule. So no matter where you are, no matter what kind of work you're doing, if you have a preset schedule of days, those days are set well in advance. You bid on those days 3 times a year, and basically it says on these specific dates you are not allowed to be called for work. Plain and simple. It makes it a little easier to manage your life, you know. So, you know, if you're worried about never getting those days off, they pretty much solidified it to where you know where you're going to be months in advance. So with those known days off, now you don't have to worry about which days you can schedule off. And obviously, just like runs, you have to bid on those days. So you bid on those days are awarded by seniority, and whenever you have that seniority, you're going to get those prime days. Are you going to be getting every Saturday off? Probably not, you know, especially if you're starting out. But you're guaranteed to get time that's scheduled ahead that you can take off, and that's awesome. You know, they didn't have that. You had to freaking beg for those days. Now you don't have to beg for those days, and that's pretty cool. So the bid days are definitely going to alleviate a lot of stress. It's definitely going to help a lot of people, you know, get what they need to get done well ahead of time, scheduled. Because when I first started working on the board, or when I first got my run, the first thing I raved about is the fact that I could now schedule a set day off. You know, I now have a schedule, and, you know, I can literally make an appointment months in advance because I know what days I'm going to be off, and that alleviates a lot of stress. And also knowing when you have those days off and having those days off, you know, in advance, it makes you feel like, honestly, like you just got freaking tons of time. You know, I only have 2 days off and several hours between my runs, but even though I just have those 2 days off, those 2 days feel like a week off. Like every time I get to the end of those 2 days, I feel like, holy crap, I had so much time to just sit around and do nothing, you know? So it helps a lot. I think that's pretty cool that they've done that. You know, the union negotiated, the company figured it would help them as well because, you know, they get to schedule in advance, and that's pretty cool. So you still get the earned days. So if you have earned days, you can still schedule earned days, but you also have now guaranteed days off that you schedule well in advance. And every 3 months, you can bid for specific days, or you could bid for other days off. So that's pretty cool. Oh, let me get out of this guy's way. Does he need help coming out? Let me see if he wants me to back him out. Hopefully you guys saw that. That's always fun, backing people out. So yeah, so it's getting easier and easier. I wouldn't say easier and easier, you're still going to be working. It's easier to have more of a life and have days off now that they added the bid days on top of the 7-day earned day. You know, again, you know, if you're interested in working and you're scared of, you know, being on call 24/7, now they're making it a much easier proposition to, you know, have those days off, make those schedules way in advance. It's pretty cool. So, you know, this is your boy again, Taco Phil. You know, keep sending questions, keep leaving comments. You know, I read every comment and I try to answer what I can. And I'll talk to you guys later.